Hey there everyone, I hope you guys have had a great weekend. Of course it is a Monday, start of another awesome week, and we've got our strength session coming up. Guys, today you'll need a nice sturdy chair and one of your training bags, so get those organised. We'll move through a nice dynamic mobility before our activation, and we'll get into our strength set, finish up with a conditioning set, and then get into a nice little cool down at the end. So get your gear ready and get ready for the session. To kick things off, shoot those hands out to the side and we're going to do some alternate twists or opposite twists. So we want to take those hands and twist them in opposite directions, winding and unwinding that shoulder. At the same time, we want to push the hands apart. Cool, so twist and turn, working 5 per side, I should say about 10 or so you want. 1, 2, 3, and so on, just for a set of 10. Once we finish our good old twists, we're going to work some rotation reaches. So pivoting on the feet, reaching right out as far as we can go. Try to stay around a central axis as you work from side to side. So we're not leaning forwards, shooting the arm out, working for a set of 20 here. 10 per side. Once we hit that 20th rep, we're going to keep that nice wide stance and we're going to work some windmills. So reaching down, right hand to left foot, left hand to right foot, focusing on bending and extending through the hips. So remember, push back, chest up. We're not rounding the back here. Getting a nice little stretch through the hamstring. Working a set of 10 per side, 20 total with our good old windmills. As soon as we finish our windmills, we're going to move into a knee up lunge. So draw the knee up into the chest, balance for a second, and then drop into a nice deep lunge. Working that same side, knee comes up, dropping down. So right knee I'm drawing up, and then I kick that right leg back. As you go, notice that front leg, the shin is pretty vertical. You don't want to push the knee past the toes there. So nice tall posture, working a set of 5 before we change it up. Nice tall position, holding for a good 2 seconds before dropping into that lunge. 5 per side before we move into some step back, rock and reaches. So into the top of the push-up. We step through, rock it back to lift the toes, and then we turn towards that leg at the front. Changing to the other side, right leg steps through, I rock back, lifting the toes up, then I turn towards that leg, so my right arm goes up. Cool, alternating as we go. If you really struggle with this, drop the back knee to the ground. Otherwise, keep that back leg nice and straight as we swap, change, rock, and reach. Set of 5 per side, 10 total. Before we move into a good old downward dog. So pushing back through the palms, lifting the hips nice and high, dropping the chest, and trying to get the heels to touch the ground. Holding for a good 2 seconds before we lower to the knees, sliding it through, lifting up tall at the front. 2-second holds at either end. Driving back, pushing the hips up, trying to get the heels down. Then lowering to the knees, sliding it through, lifting up as high as I can. Remember, we don't want to be collapsed at the front, we want to lift up. Pushing back, we're working 5 reps. If we get our downward dog, dropping down, sliding it through, lifting up nice and tall. Once we hit that 5th rep, we're just going to turn over, taking a seat on the floor, basically placing the hands so that the fingers point away from us. Then, balancing on the heels, I'm going to push the hips to the sky and push back down again. Lifting up nice and tall, back down again. Cool? So you really want to drive the heels into the ground, squeeze the legs and get a nice butt squeeze at the top. Hold for a good second before coming back down. Elbows should be nice and straight. The further back those arms go, the more stretch you're going to get. So just find a good comfortable position with the hands behind you. Lifting up nice and tall, back down. Lifting up nice and tall, and back down again. Cool, set of 10 there. From there, guys, we're going to turn over onto the front. A little bit of a plank series. So, working into the top of the push-up. Nice wide position. Working plank taps first. Hands should be basically shoulder width apart. Set of 10 plank taps. Reaching up to touch the shoulder, nice and steady. Don't want to go too fast. As soon as we hit that 10th rep, then just bring the legs in just a little bit, and we're going knees to elbow, left knee to left elbow, right knee to right elbow. Working a set of 10, and then widen the stance. Last one, the good old alternate reaches. Right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot. Stabilizing those hips. Whoa, balancing as you go. Working for a set of 20 with this one, 10 per side. Cool. Once you finish there, we're going to move up to our feet. Working a lunge reach next. So, if I'm stepping back with my left leg, left arm goes up. Nice active pressing of the arm. So we're not just lifting the arm, we press it out. Dropping that nice deep lunge. Reaching up nice and high to the sky. Set of 20 steps with reaches. Then last of all, guys, good old gorilla taps. Reaching down to touch the ground, spring up, change, change, change. Hand goes out the side. Really leaving the ground, set of 10. Just be mindful when we're pressing or we're touching the ground. I want you to try to keep the chest up. Cool? So we're not just reaching down and rounding. Down, chest up. Springing from side to side. Set of 10 reps. Then last of all, guys, some pop squats. Dropping down into the deep squat. Legs together, feet apart. Legs together, feet apart. Touch the thighs with the hands. Working a set of 10 with that pause at the bottom. Nice and steady as you go. Cool? So remember, a little bit of a pause at the bottom of each one of those pop squats. Oh, that heart rate should be up after those gorilla taps, and those pop squats should be feeling nice and warm and ready for our activation set. For our first exercise of our activation series, we're going to be doing a pry squat. So what you want to do is you want to set a timer for 30 seconds, and then from there, we're moving down to the ground. For that 30 seconds, we're just going to be wedging or prying the knees apart, bring those hands together, and then lifting the hips up nice and high. Back down again, we wedge the knees open, lift the chest, and then reach those hips up nice and high to the sky. Just working once again for that 30 seconds. We don't have to do 100 reps here. It's just nice and steady, spending some time down in that deep squat position. Creating a bit of mobility around the hips by pushing the knees apart, and then also stretching out those hammies at the same time as we place those hands on the floor. When that timer goes, after that 30 seconds, we're then going to move into the top of the plank position, working a good old set of plank taps. I know we did some in our mobility set. So hold those hips steady, reaching up to touch the shoulder, working for a set of 10 reps. 5 per side, bracing and holding nice and steady through the legs and through the hips. So we really want to minimize how much the body's rocking from side to side. Holding tight as we work those 10 reps, 5 per side. Then last of all, make your way up to your feet, and we're going to work some weight shifts. So shoot the feet nice and far apart, and then from there we shift our weight from one side up and over to the other side. Working with a range that works for you, but remember, I want the chest up. If you want, bring in the chair or an object close, so then we have to stay up so we don't headbutt that object. In nice and close to a wall works well as well. So working from side to side, working for a set of 10, 5 per side. So nice and simple with our activation set, working those good old pry squats 30 seconds, so set that timer. We'll then do a set of 10 plank taps, 5 per side, then straight into our lateral weight shift, working for a set of 10, 5 per side. We want 3 rounds before we get into our strength work. For anyone that did our Saturday morning boot camp class, this little strength set will be quite reminiscent of that session. Anyway, guys, we've got 3 exercises that we're going to be doing for 5 rounds. Basically following a 5, 10, 15 rep count with each one of our exercises. Don't worry, the exercises stay the same, the rep count stays the same. You just think, first exercise is 5 reps, second is 10, and the third is 15. Kicking things off, guys, we're working 5 push-ups. So if you can do your push-ups on the ground, awesome. Otherwise, bring in your chair. Remember, guys, when we're working chair push-ups, you do have 3 levels that you can kind of work with, of course, depending on the chair that you're using. But when we set up, especially for our beginners, we're really focusing on that strong posture. Cool? So, balancing on our toes, we lock out through the hips, we keep the elbows close, and from there, we lower our chest to touch the chair. Cool? Just be mindful that you don't want the chair to slide away from you. So make sure that if you need to, push the chair up against the wall so it doesn't slide away as we do our push-up. So nice and steady. I don't want you to do these fast. It's just nice, steady reps, working for a set of 5. If that feels easy, remember we can turn our chair around. We can work from those arm rests. Same again, because my body's a little lower to the ground. It's going to be harder in terms of more body weight that my arms have to work with. From the chair, we can go to the seat part of the chair, but I want that chest lowering down. And of course, if we can get down to the ground, even better. Just remember, I'll move this out of the way. When we do our push-ups, we've done these a few times. So make sure that we're strict, nice and steady, chest touches the ground. We push back up. If we're working on the ground, we don't want our hips and knees to touch. Cool? So of course, if that's a struggle, just use your chair. Guys, 5 reps of there. Then we're going to lunge rows. So bring in your bag. From here, we want to set up our foot next to our bag. Nice deep stance. We brace on that front leg, balancing our forearm on. We then pull the bag back into the hip pocket without twisting or turning the body. Working 10 reps per side here. Cool, so working 10 on one side. Nice and steady as we go before we flip over to the other side. Really try to brace. Now, if you want an added challenge here, keep that same position, but don't brace on that front leg. Cool, arm goes out the side, and then from there, you're having to use those back muscles, switch on through the core, that little bit harder, as we create that forwards lean, and you're really going to load up those hammies quite a bit in that position, in that forwards posture. Cool? So that's a little bit more of an advanced variation. Cool? Still 10 per side. Last of all in the set is what I call a squat hold. It's similar to our pause squats in that with a pause squat, we really hold that bottom position for a good amount of time before we come up. But with this one, I just want you to hold for a second. But I don't want you to just go squat, stand. Cool? I want you to squat, hold, then come up. So there's that slight, good 1 second before you come back up again. Cool? If you need to, use a clock in front of you to count that 1 second. So there's that slight pause before you come back up again, or I should say hold, a slight hold at the bottom. Cool? So incorporating the bag into the mix, we hold the bag up on the chest, we lift the elbows, we hug it in nice and tight, and from there we squat down, hold, come back up again. Squat, hold, come back up again. Ooh, 15 reps for our squat holds. So once again, you can work body weight, especially for our beginners, but we're still doing a set of 15 there. So it works out as your good old push-ups for a set of 5. You then do 10 per side of your lunge rows and round out the set with our good old squat holds for a set of 15. Very similar to that Spartan Cindy on the weekend. Needless to say, only 5 rounds of this before we get into our conditioning set. For our conditioning set today, folks, we've got a nice little EMOM for you to do. Now, I've got two components to this EMOM. We've got component 1 and component 2. So basically, you do component 1 on the first minute, component 2 on the second minute, component 1 on the third minute, and so on. And so you're just alternating between 1, 2, 1, 2, each minute that goes. The quicker you can get your exercises done per those components, then the more rest you're going to have in that minute. Cool? For those that do struggle in terms of the timing, if you find that the reps are just too much and you're not hitting the minute or you're going over time, just pull the reps back a little bit. Maybe take 1 or 2 off. So guys, we are doing 8s of everything throughout the whole set. Cool? Each component has 2 exercises. So in our first component, we've got our step-ups, followed by plank rows, both 8 of each. Cool? You've got 16 steps, 8 per side, and you've got your plank rows, 8 per side. Then in the second component, you've got chair squats, or single leg chair squats, 8 per side, followed by ab cycles for a set of 8 per side, or 16 total. In terms of our set duration, beginners, you guys are going to be doing 8 minutes, and then our regular members, you guys are going to be doing 14 minutes. Cool? I'm actually going to do one of these rounds so that you get a feel of what's happening and you can get a visual of what's happening as well. But first I'm going to go over the exercises. First up, guys, we have step ups. So in component 1, exercise 1, good old chair step ups. So guys, keep 1 foot on the chair. That way it's nice, steady and controlled. From there I stand up, change my feet, stepping back down again. Control the down so we're not just bouncing, but I'm going 1, 1, 2, 2, working for a set of 8, or if you want to count it to 16, you can do that. Cool? I just want you to stand up tall at the top, so we're not doing our steps like this, changing out, I'm standing up. Back down again, and minimize how much that you're bouncing as well. Cool? If you find that a struggle, just reverse lunge. Drop the lunge, stand up tall. Reverse lunge, especially for our beginners. If you want to up the ante, grab your bag and do the step ups with the bag, holding the bag up on the chest. Second exercise, guys, we're working plank rows. So brace and hold against the chair, bring that bag in, nice wide stance, and from there I'm grabbing the bag, pulling it into the hip pocket, bracing nice and strong for 8 on one side, change it out, working 8 on the other side. Cool? If that is a challenge, especially for beginners, bring the feet in so we're more bent through the knee and our back is more parallel to the ground. Cool? Creating a 3-point row, we draw that bag in towards the stomach, bracing against the chair, still 8 per side. Cool? So that's our component 1. Step ups, plank rows. That'll be in the first minute. Soon as that minute sounds, then we get into our second minute. The second component is moving the bag out of the way, good old single leg squats with the chair, placing the foot, we drop the knee, that was a bit close, we want a little bit of room, so I've got that vertical shin at the front. Cool, if my foot's too close to the chair, it's going to push my knee forwards. So I just want to feel it out. Do a couple of reps before you start. Maybe put a mark on the ground so then you know your distance between you and your chair. Set of 8 reps before you change it over. Swap it out and away you go. Cool? If that's a struggle or you really struggle with that one, just split squat. Keep your feet, especially for our beginners, still working 8 per side. Last of all, in the set, just move the chair out of the way, but we're doing ab cycles. So lying on the ground, rolling into a ball, basically reaching so you touch your feet, your upper back and shoulders are up off the ground, and from there we extend out, alternate. Nice reach, almost touching the heel on the ground, but making sure that chest is rolled forwards. Working a set of 16, 8 per side, holding nice and tight as we go. Cool? So, second component is our chair squats, 8 per side, ab cycles, 8 per side, or 16 total. As I mentioned, if you guys really struggle with the timing for this, then just bring it back. Maybe make it 7s or 6s. Cool? Excellent. Guys, I'm going to show you how this works so you get a bit more of a visual. So on the first minute, remember, step ups, plank row. Second minute, you do your single leg squats on the chair plus the ab cycle. Cool. Then the third minute, you'd be back to step ups and plank rows. Fourth minute would be the chair squats and our ab cycles. So to show you how this works and to make sure that the timings actually work, we're going to get into it. Alrighty, Declan, I'm going to get you to hit the clock in 3, 2, 1, starting with step ups. Here we go. Nice and tall. 2, 3, 4. Remember, stay nice and tall. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nearly there. 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. As soon as we finish there, straight into 1. Plank rows. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one, 8. Change it over to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nice, I got 15 seconds to rest before the minute ticks over. Remember guys, we've got our chair split squats and our ab cycles coming up next. So, another couple of moments. Breathe, and here we go. Timer is on. Split squats. 2, 3, hold that balance. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then change it over to the side. Remember, nice vertical shin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. As soon as you finish there, dropping down to the ground, ab cycles. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Woo! With about 15 seconds to spare. Woo! Let that timer count down. So that would basically be one round. You'll do either 8 minutes of that for our beginners or 14 minutes of that for our more advanced. Sweet, so that's pretty much how it works. First minute, you're going to do component 1. Second minute, component 2. Third minute, component 1. Fourth minute, component 2. Just working 1, 2, 1, 2 on our way through the set. Cool? If you've got any questions, just shoot us a message and we'll clarify. But hopefully that sort of covers all of the basics for that. Cool? Let us know how you go with it. Remember, 8 minutes or 14, and you've got your step ups, plank rows, your chair squats, and your ab cycles to do. To round out the session, we'll have a little stretch. So guys, just grab a towel just to help out. We're going to do some stretching on the ground, placing the knee. So just save the knee and also do a bit of a hamstring stretch with our towel. So grab yourself a towel. But outside of that, guys, hold on to something, maybe the back of the chair, and we're going to pull the heel into the butt. Stretching out those quads and those hip flexors. They're probably feeling it after that set. That little conditioning EMOM is definitely a tough one. So you'll probably feel it over the next couple of days either way. So staying nice and tall, 30 seconds on one side before we change it out to the other side, pulling the heel in, nice tall posture, squeeze the butt and keep those or the chest down. Once we do our 30 seconds, we'll do a little double duty on those quads and hip flexors. So bring the towel in. If you need something to hold onto, you can hold onto the wall. We're just going to drop our knee to the towel. So double it over so it creates a bit of a cushion, or you can use a cushion. That might work. Split the stance and drop the hips down towards the ground. So stay nice and tall. Don't let the back arch as we sink in, leaning into the stretch. We want to hold for 30 seconds before we reach up as high as we can, and whatever knee is on the ground, I'm going to lean away from it. So I'm just going to turn straight on just so you can see what's going on. So nice tall posture, whatever knee is on the ground, I'm leaning away from it. Cool, 30 seconds, then change it. Changing the sides, stepping through, pushing the hips forwards, giving that chest up and that butt squeezed at the back. Holding for 30 seconds. Then we reach up tall, whatever knee's on the ground, we lean away. Oh, leaning into that stretch, hold 30 seconds, but remember, breathe. Relax that breathing as much as possible. Cool. Alrighty guys, we're gonna pop up to our feet again. From there, we're just gonna stretch out. So find yourself a bit of wall, stretch out those calves, place the ball of the foot on the upright and pull the body forwards. Keep your heel on the ground. The closer the heel is to the upright, the more stretch you're gonna get here. So leaning in, nice tall posture. And hold for 30 seconds before we change it over to the other side. Plant the ball of the foot, heel on the ground, leg nice and straight. Pull the body forwards, holding for a nice 30 seconds. Nice deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then we're going to take it back down to the ground. This time, unwrap the towel. We're going to lie down on the ground. A little bit of a hamstring stretch. So place the foot or the towel around the middle of the foot. Then we're just straightening the leg, lying back on the ground. I want you to keep that back leg down. So don't let that leg creep up. Cool? Back leg on the ground, and then from there, pull the towel leg towards the chest. Nice and steady. Really try to relax and breathe. I know there's many of us that have quite tight hamstrings. So just pulling the foot towards the body, relaxing into that stretch. Once we've held for about, give yourself a good 45 seconds to a minute with this one. And then you want to turn the knee to the side, hold on to that towel with one hand, and then you kind of want to push that knee away with the other hand. So whether you use one arm or you can kind of put that elbow in, we're just trying to pull the foot towards the chest here. Cool? So, leaning in. 30 seconds for this one before we change it out. Swapping legs, middle of the foot, kick the other leg out straight, and then from there, drawing that foot towards the chest. Nice straight leg. Once again, 45 to a minute for this one. Spend a little bit of time stretching those hammies out, especially if you've got tight hamstrings. Then we turn the foot or turn the knee to the side, pull the foot towards the chest, and from there we can push the other or the knee away. A little bit of double duty of pushing the knee and pulling the foot. Hold and breathe, 30 seconds. Once we finish there, release the towel, then kick the legs out nice and wide, a little bit of a groin stretch. Leaning into the front, you want to place those elbows down, trying to get the elbows down towards the ground. Nice deep breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth, leaning into that stretch. Then sitting up nice and tall, reach above your head, breathe in and then breathe out and reach those hands all the way forward as far as you can go. Get a couple of good breaths in, then gently push the elbows down towards the ground. Holding that last part for 30 seconds. Remember to regulate that breathing, relax as much as possible. Holding that stretch. As soon as that 30 seconds is up, you can make your way up to your feet and give yourselves a little round of applause for a nice Monday session. Great way to start the week. I hope you guys had a good little training session. Of course, our next strength session's coming up on the Wednesday. Keep your eyes open for those gear sessions because they'll be rolling out quick smart as well. Anyway, guys, till next time, take it easy, stay safe, and I hope you're all doing amazing.